One of the biggest names in the tennis world heading up into this tournament would have to be Coco Gauff, who is an absolute hot streak right now. I mean, Gauff has just earned her first Masters 1000 title as she wins the Western and Southern Open. I mean, this girl is on fire. If we go here, 7th seeded Coco Gauff became the first teenager in more than 50 years to win the Western and Southern Open with a 6-3 and a 6-4 victory over Karolina Muchova on Sunday. Now, Gauff, the 2022 French Open runner-up, we'll get more on that later, earned her first Masters 1000 title at 19 years old. There hasn't been someone that young to win it, like I said, 50 years. I'm pretty sure the last time actually was in 1968 when a 17-year-old won it. That's how long it's been. And Coco Gauff, I mean, her story has been incredible. She bursts onto the scene in 2018, starts appearing in these Grand Slam tournaments. 2018 is 5 years ago. This girl is like 15, 16 years old when she's put into the spotlight. And, you know, she's flourished, sort of. I mean, she hasn't won a Grand Slam yet, but that's what I'm hoping happens here in the 2023 US Open. What better place to do it than on your home field? I mean, Americans seem to thrive when they play in the US. Of course, has a woman won it for the last couple of years? No, not really. The last one to do it, I'm pretty sure, was Sloane Stephens back in 2017-2018 when she won her US Open. And before that, I know Serena won it a couple times. But like I said, ever since Serena and Venus kind of fell off because they've been getting older, they've been dealing with injuries, you know, there haven't been too many Americans winning it. And then on the men's side, no one's won it since Andy Roddick in the early 2000s. So maybe we just need a little more American representation in the tennis world is all I'm saying. And Coco Gauff can give us that. And after winning her first ever major tournament, Coco Gauff had a few choice words to say. In the post-match interview, she would go on to say, "This is unbelievable. I'm just happy to be here for this moment. I want to congratulate Karolina for an incredible run in this tournament, and hopefully we'll play more often and on a bigger stage than this." Now, Coco Gauff, I mean, the amount of composure and poise that she has is remarkable for a 19-year-old. Coco Gauff is still super young, still a teenager if you want to call her that, and she's already been through so much in her career. I mean, we can go back to the biggest moment for her, which was the 2022 French Open, and we could just look at the journey she went on. I mean, in the very first round, Coco Gauff would go up against Marino and dominate. She won 7-5 in the first round, and then in the first set, and then in the second set, she would go on to win 6-0, absolutely bullying Marino in the first round. Following that up with a second round performance that was also pretty good. She would go up against a German, Van Utenbach. Sorry if I said that wrong. And in that second round match versus the German, she would win the first set 6-1. And then the second set would be a little more contentious as they would go 7-6, and then Coco Gauff would, you know, have match point after that. So she would win again in the second set. She was ranked 18th in the world when she went on this little run, by the way. There were 17 girls supposedly better than Coco Gauff heading into this tournament, and she showed that she was probably the second best in the world at that time. Now, in the third round, she would go up against Kanepi, and this match would be closer than the ones before it. Kanepi would put up a better fight, still only be 2 sets, as Gauff would win 6-3 and then 6-4, and that would lead to her fourth round match against the second German of the tournament for her in Mertens, where she would, you know, kind of bully her a little bit in the sense that she beat her 6-4 in the first round, and then Gauff beat her 6-0, basically having quite a breeze in her section 7, right? She was in section 7, had a bit of a breeze, and that led her to the quarterfinals where she stepped up her game because the talent got a whole lot harder. Now, this quarterfinals matchup is pretty memorable, but not for the reasons you might think. You see, in the quarterfinals of the 2022 French Open, Coco Gauff was set to go up against Sloane Stephens. Yes, this game wasn't something made for the history books or whatever, but she's going up against Sloane Stephens, the last American woman to win the US Open. Kind of crazy how this is all full circle here. She goes up against her, and the only other American left in the tournament at this point is Jessica Pegula. Of course, she would go on to lose in the quarterfinals to Iga, so that doesn't matter. But Gauff takes on Sloane Stephens and kind of bullies her, like she has the other girls in the tournament. 7-5 in the first set, so it's kind of close, but then 6-2 absolutely shuts Stephens out. It's game over. Then you got her semifinals matchup versus Martina Trevisan, right? So Martina, this Italian woman, she isn't ranked or anything, but she's nice. She's very good, has all the fundamentals. She's in the semis of the French Open for a reason. Doesn't matter because Gauff whoops her. 6-3, 6-1, isn't close. Let's head to the finals, baby. Finals. She goes up against Iga Swiatek. So Iga is the #1 ranked woman in the world at the time, especially if you're, not keeping up with the tennis world. Iga's fantastic. She's one of the most dominant players on the world in the women's side, and she proved that to Coco Gauff, because while Coco Gauff hadn't dropped a single set the entire tournament, when the finals rolled around, Gauff kind of got bullied. I know I'm using bullied a lot here, but it's just a good term to use, right? Especially when someone gets dominated in a sense. So Coco Gauff loses the first set 6-1, loses the second set 6-3, and it's over for her. This special run is over like that. But it's okay because Gauff has gotten her name on the big stage now. Still super young, still has a decade plus to rack up those Grand Slam titles. Of course, she might not get 20-something like Serena, but that's not the goal. The goal is for Gauff to, really spread the game of tennis more in the United States. Get, more United States girls in the United States more interested in the sport. And I think that's fantastic. Just grow the game. Look, as a biased American, would I love for Coco Gauff to win the US Open? Of course I would. Would I have loved for her to win the 2022 French Open? Hell yeah. You know how cool that would have been? I love bragging about Coco Gauff because she just represents for America so well. She puts on for America, kind of carries us in the sport. And, it's just something about her. Sure, Jessica Pegula is cool. Sure, all these other women like Sloane Stephens are awesome. But Gauff just has this swagger to her that makes me want to watch the sport. Gauff makes me want to watch the women's side because I'm an American. She's hecka cool. She's a teenager. She's balling out. I want to root for her. So I do want her to win the US Open. Of course, you know how cool it would be if she won her first Grand Slam in American soil? That would be dope. That would actually be awesome. Would it be scripted? I mean, it sounds like something that would be scripted. And honestly, with all this momentum she has, that's the reason I'm talking about her. She has a lot of momentum heading into this Open that there's a real possibility she wins it all. But that's all I wanted to say. I love talking tennis, right? I've made a few videos here, and here, right? About, of course, Carlos Alcaraz, because he is the best player in the world right now. I've made a video about Djokovic. I've made a video about Rafael Nadal. I've made a video about Serena Williams. So if you want to see my other tennis videos, just click this link right here, or just scroll in the channel, go to playlists, click tennis, and all the videos should be right there. But that's it for this one. Catch y'all later. Much love. Deuces.